Maria Tkachenko, who is a seasoned financial professional and entrepreneur with 25 years of experience in international corporate structuring, wealth management, and tax advisory. Also a founder and general manager of Ziffer. Maria, the stage is yours.
Большое спасибо, Полина. Очень рада приветствовать всех участников InvestPro
Thank you
онлайн.
very much, Polina. I'm so happy to greet and welcome all the participants of Invest 2025. My subject matter is very different from the previous subjects. It has to do with the structuring of the capital, and I believe that you will find it interesting. The Luxembourg is the lead financial center of the European Union, providing very interesting possibilities and opportunities for the private capital planning and family heritage planning. As Polina has just introduced me, I'd like to thank her very much for that. I'm the founder and general manager of Ziffer in Luxembourg. Ziffer is the professional includes financial practice. It's the chartered. My career has been developing for 3 decades in the area of finances and taxes. I used to before Ziffer. I used to work in one of the largest international banks. I was a board member in the at the trust company in Luxembourg. Today, I'm going to tell you about the opportunities that Luxembourg is providing in terms of the centralized management of assets. Let's start from the beginning. Why is it Luxembourg? What do you know about Luxembourg? Many people know that Luxembourg is the global hub of investment funds for one of Europe's most robust and advanced economies. Luxembourg is renowned for one of Europe's most robust and advanced economies, making it an attractive choice for both personal and residence and business ventures. It's the country with the highest credit ratings, which is different from all the rest throughout the world. But many people don't know that Luxembourg is a stable and resilient economy. It's very comfortable for living. It has a very efficient infrastructure, a free system of transportation. Luxembourg is not featured. It is not known as a large city. There are no stress situations, long distances, or criminality. But the most important thing for the foreigners in Luxembourg has to do with a very inclusive environment, which is open for the foreigners. Almost half of the population here has to do with almost half of population here are foreigners. A little over one half of population has to do with local residents. Nobody's interested. Nobody will be. If you can speak English, French, or German, you will be very comfortable in this country. All the foreigners that come here start feeling themselves home very soon. If you're thinking about establishing a family office in Europe, be that virtual or physical, Luxembourg is the unique opportunity to implement this opportunity. The economic stability, well-developed financial infrastructure, special tax regimes for investment activity, flexible structuring of assets, and low bureaucratic bureaucracy, low-level bureaucracy provide for very favorable conditions. Corporate and Luxembourg is known for its as a premier financial hub. As one of Europe's leading financial centers, Luxembourg offers an ideal environment for investment activities and establishing family offices. Corporate and tax structuring for wealth management. Luxembourg is highly regarded for its diverse investment fund options, holding structures, and specialized tax regimes that facilitate efficient family wealth management and inheritance plannings. streamlined bureaucracy, minimal administrative hurdles make the residency and citizenship processes smoother, creating a higher favorable setting for both living and business. A qualified specialist will only have to wait for 3 months till for their application to be processed. This makes Luxembourg a unique place for the establishment of a family office and successful management of capital. According to Heaven Partners description published in January, Luxembourg allows dual citizenship and it does not inform other countries when citizenship is granted. It offers visa-free access to 191 countries worldwide. It grants the right to live, travel, study, work, and do business in any EU country. And what's unique is that extended family members can also follow children can follow their parents without any additional requirements. The most popular and accessible program of residency in Luxembourg is the investors program, as well as residency through employment. Also, the blue card program, which was developed to attract and elude highly specialized professionals from different countries. It allows people to freely move between the EU member states. The temporary residence permit is issued immediately for a 4-year period of time. The entrepreneurial activity also provides an opportunity to get the temporary residency, but the process here is a little bit more complicated. Nevertheless, this option is also an efficient one. This program actually has undergone some changes, whereas previously it used to be the most popular, and previously any person could participate in a program just by providing a certificate from their bank to testify that their income or revenues is enough to cover all the costs of their living. The investment, the Luxembourg investment program is not considered to be the most attractive as compared to other programs. Previously, it was much more popular in the backdrop of the simple program. In the past year, only 9 applicants have lodged their applications. However, recently the program became much more interested in, and that became a concern for the EU. And recently, a couple of days ago, the EU has announced the closure of this program. So people that are interested in residing in Luxembourg have to consider only options of investing, employment, and partnership. An important aspect has to do with tax residency. Are you going to become the tax resident of Luxembourg when you get the residence permit? Yes, you will become a tax resident, but your tax residency can change eventually, because it doesn't directly have to do with the residence permit. It has to there is a center of vital interest, such as children enrolled in school in Luxembourg. Well, an individual may be considered as a tax resident of Luxembourg if they establish one of the following: a center of vital interest, such as children enrolled in school in Luxembourg, a permanent residence that they actively use and intend to maintain, a habitual residence where the family resides continuously for at least 6 months, spread across 2 calendar years. Well, the latter two criteria could be valid to get the tax residence. Also, you need to remember that these criteria have closely to do with immigration aspects, actually, with aspects of immigration policy. Why do people think about evading tax legislation? Well, tax residents have to report their worldwide income. The new residents of Luxembourg usually appreciate their new tax residency. You will have to report for all of your worldwide income, but you also should take into account some of the exceptions. I'm going to list a few of them. You don't have to report taxes with which were you don't have to, there's no reporting required on income from controlled foreign companies. There's no personal wealth tax. There's no the Luxembourg's step-up mechanism allows individuals relocating to the country to reset the tax basis of their assets to their current market value upon arrival. This step-up mechanism, which is one of the elements of Luxembourg's tax legislation, allowed the new tax residents to appreciate their real estate. If the historic cost of your real estate was €1, and then it increasingly grew, and upon the time of your relocation, it totaled 1 million. The tax will be zero because the historical change of the cost of your real estate will not be taken into account. Family wealth management company. Financial assets can be managed through an SPF, which is exempt from corporate income tax and is ideal for structuring the succession of assets within a family. For a detailed overview, please refer to our SPF overview. What is an SPF? It's a specialized corporate entity designed for managing private wealth and individual investments, benefiting from a special tax regime in Luxembourg. SPF is exempt from all the taxes of Luxembourg except for 4%. Strategic tool for it's a strategic tool for structuring family asset distribution and facilitating generational wealth planning. For example, if the investment portfolio amounts to 9 million, the annual tax fee will be 1/4, 0.25% of the million, and the income is not taken into account in terms of the annual tax fee. SPF is leaving control over real estate in the hands of the founder.
С организационной точки зрения SPF обычно имеет форму либо общества с ограниченной
From the organizational standpoint, usually SPF is structured as either an SARL, private limited company, or an SA, public limited company. The founders and shareholders of an SPF can be individuals, trusts, or private foundations. Trusts are very well can be suited in case can be very well fit in case of tax planning. The number of founder shareholders is not limited. Nevertheless, depending on the number of founders and shareholders, some tax risks can emerge. So the number of founders and shareholders should be considered holistically. The law annually a licensed expert certifies that the SPF's activity comply with legal restrictions. By law, an SPF may not directly own immovable property, engage in commercial activities, or participate in the management of other companies. It cannot grant loans or credits to individuals or companies except for interest-free loans to affiliated companies. An SPF should possess investment portfolios. The purpose of an SPF is to generate and reinvest passive income from various assets, such as securities, shares, or units of funds, financial instruments, cryptocurrencies, subsidiaries, etc. That is anything that can ensure financial investments to get passive revenue. SPFs are not entitled to benefit from double taxation treaties. However, if an SPF is structured as a limited liability company, it may be considered as a transparent entity by the US tax authorities. This status can provide beneficiaries with an opportunity to access double taxation treaty benefits between the US and their country of tax residence. This mechanism is accessible only for companies which are a limited liability company. In conclusion, I'd like to pause on the question frequently asked by clients and our audience members. How difficult is it to open up a bank account? If you have a bank account in private banking of Europe, you will not have any problems opening up a bank account. If you're a client of private banking in a non-European country, you might have some difficulties because the compliance of the bank is not it is not familiar with this corporate instrument. Nevertheless, it has to be responsible for the revenues of the clients. If you are not a client of the private banking, you need to answer the question of what kind of financial investments you plan to make. Perhaps if you're talking about a crypto investment, you will have to use accounts opened in crypto banks and crypto markets. Opening up an account at the moment is a crypto account is taking a long time at the moment. Our company has been working at crypto market for over 7 years, and it can provide you with a qualified assistance if you need an account opened up. In conclusion, I'd like to summarize by saying that Luxembourg can become a good choice to restructure your personal family capital, regardless of whether you want to open up a family office or hand your assets over to the next generation. Luxembourg is is exactly the
Так,
venue
понимание.
where you can integrate all,
Maria,
ensure
спасибо
the
большое
integration
за
of all
вашу
of these aspects. Our
презентацию. Я думаю,
company
всем
and
было
our
очень
team will
интересно
provide you
послушать.
with all the necessary
И у
assistance.
нас есть
Thank you very
парочка
much
вопросов, которые нам задали люди,
for
регистрации на
this presentation. It was
мероприятие.
very
И
interesting
я
and
хочу
appealing.
задать вам один
We
из
have
этих
had a
вопросов.
couple of
Например,
questions, and
как
one of them
банковский
I'd like
сектор
to
Люксембурга
ask. For example,
адаптировался к росту
how
финтеха и цифровой
did the
трансформации?
banking sector of Luxembourg adapt to
Банковский
fintech
сектор
and digital
Люксембурга,
transformation? The banking
как и
sector of
многие другие
Luxembourg,
европейские
just as
банки,
many other banks of Europe,
постепенно приспосабливается
has
к финтеху.
gradually
Есть
adapted to
целая
fintech.
программа
There
обязательная
is
к
a
исполнению,
program
установленная правительством, которая
which
обязывает банков
is the obligatory
применять
program,
инновации,
compulsory
адаптироваться
program,
к новым
to
реалиям.
whereby it
То есть это
has to
процесс
adapt
идет,
to
он,
innovations, and the process is
поддерживается и
ongoing,
контролируется на
and it is
правительственном уровне, и
controlled
в то
and
же время
maintained by the government.
открывается большое
At the same
количество
time,
необанков, новых
uh,
платежных систем,
uh,
независимых
new
и
banks
независимых
and
от
payment
больших мировых
systems
банков,
are
которые
emerging
очень
that are
эффективно решают
independent
вопросы
from large
децентрализации
global
и
banks, and they're
эффективно
very
охраняют традиционный
effectively
банковский сектор.
solving the issue of
Мгм. И был
digitalization,
еще вопрос, какие
outstripping the
ключевые шаги
traditional banking
необходимо
sector. There was
предпринять
another
компании
question
для
as to what kind of
соблюдения
key steps
криптовалют
should the
в
company take
регулируемом рынке.
to observe,
Да,
to abide by the
ответ на этот
currency
вопрос
regulation
сильно зависит от того,
of
чем
Luxembourg?
занимается компания.
The
Если
answer
она
will largely
работает с
depend on
клиентскими
what it is that the
деньгами,
company is doing. If the
то это
company is dealing
лицензированные
with clients'
сделки и
money,
другие необходимые процедуры
this is going to
регуляторного
be a
порядка.
license type of
Если
activity, and the license should be
занимается
obtained from the regulator.
криптооперациями
If it is into
для себя
crypto
и не
transactions,
имеет отношения к клиентским деньгам, то
having
лицензированные
nothing to do
деятельности,
with
и тогда
clients'
вопросы
money,
сводятся, по
then
сути, к
there's no
налоговым
licensing required, and they will only
обязательствам
have
и
to
обязательствам
fulfill the
подсчета.
tax
И это
legislation
уже
and
своя
provide
история,
reporting.
которая требует предоставления
Uh,
лицензий.
and that, of course, is an
Хорошо,
area
тогда благодарю
of
вас,
its own
Мария.
competence.
Предлагаю
Thank you
нам
very much,
потихоньку
Maria.
включаться в Q&A
I would
session. Вы там тоже сможете
suggest for
ответить на
us to
определенные
switch
вопросы.
onto the
Спасибо
Спасибо вам
Q&A
большое.
за ваше
session where you can
внимание.
also answer some questions.